Hey everybody, Joe Vanourney, Cherry the Geek TV. We are here at the 19th annual Omaha Film Festival with Keith Farrell from Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, who has an exciting film out called Wait For Me. Talk about this film. Talk about the genesis of the film, the story. What made you want to do this particular film?
So I was very lucky. I was here in 2018 with a film called Rabbit Punch, and we won Best Short at Rabbit Punch. And the producer of that film, he knew I was looking for, his name is Phil Meacham, and he knew I was looking for a feature film script to do, not necessarily next, but to make sometime down the line. And he was at a screening of an adventure film that was a homage to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And he was sitting beside this guy who said, I'm a screenwriter. Now, you know yourself, there's lots of screenwriters out there. And Phil was like, I'd love to read some of your scripts. And he read Wait For Me, and he literally rang me and said, I found your feature script. I found your debut feature script. And the writer was Bernard O'Toole. And immediately, I'm Irish, I live in England. He's second generation Irish, his parents emigrated over in the 60s. We connected straight away because of our shared heritage. But also, what really resonated with me was the central character with this Irish girl. As an immigrant, you go over chase the American dream or the dream of having a better life somewhere, and it sometimes doesn't work out the way you hoped. And in many ways, Wait For Me resonated with me because our central character, her life hasn't turned out like she hoped it would, and she's got herself caught in a life of crime and vice, and and she wants to escape that, and she wants to kind of reconnect back to the girl she was when she first emigrated over to England. So that's kind of where the story came from, and that's why it kind of resonated with me when I read the script initially, and it took, that was 2018, 2019, it took us a long time to get the film. Here we are in 2024 and we're having our US premiere, so it's a long drawn out process.
Talk about your cast, very well cast. Talk about your two leads. What are the qualities that they have that you saw in them that said these two people are the right people to play those two characters? So
Aaron Chobham, who plays Sam, we did a lot of auditions and we had lots of great actors, really great actors come forward and do great auditions. But there was something, because it was all on Zoom. We were casting during COVID, so it was all done on Zoom, and there was something about Aaron that just resonated. Because the character is someone who has mental health issues and is suffering from severe grief, and he's also on the spectrum. A lot of time we were getting a lot of these kind of, I would like to say, Rain Man auditions, and Aaron played him straight as a person who has issues but is not defined by his mental health issues, and that worked really well. You know what I mean? So he was able to switch between the dark and the light really well, and that's what appealed. We had another actor cast for the lead role, and she had to pull, because we were filming in COVID time, she had to pull out before we started filming. Karen read the script. Karen DeSanta plays the other Alison, our other lead, and in many ways the kind of anchor of the film. She read the script on the Thursday, on the Wednesday, on the Thursday I spoke to her, on the Friday she agreed to do the film, and on the Sunday she flew to England to shoot, and on Monday we started shooting with her. So she came in at the last moment. This is what happens with COVID. You best laid plans can go up in smoke. But wow, what a performance! She just, I cannot see anyone else in that role now. She just owned it from the very first scene. I remember looking at my cinematographer, Mike Stanifort, and we just kind of, you share that look moment, going, "Are we seeing this?" She was just so good and so engaged with camera, and she's such an amazing actor. She just holds the screen and holds the film so well. She's just outstanding. And it's hard to believe that she'd only read the script 5 days beforehand.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, that might have been the answer to my next question, but maybe there's a different answer. What was the most challenging aspect of making this film? And what, on the opposite end of the spectrum, what was maybe the biggest unexpected surprise that you weren't expecting, that you're like, wow, this worked out good? And that previous answer might be the answer, but or there might be another answer.
I appreciate. Look. All right, I'm not alone. There was lots of films made during COVID, so COVID was a challenge. So I'm not going to tell that story. What was really, I think, challenging about that was it's a first feature. There's a lot of pressure on you as the director. Now, I have a lot of experience as a television director. I've made a lot, but it's a different beast doing a low budget feature completely. So in many ways, I felt a sense that, and I was so lucky, such supportive producers. I felt a real sense of duty to the cast and crew to make this the best film it could possibly be. And we spent a lot of time, myself and the cinematographer in particular, and myself and the producer spent a lot of time prepping the film. So obviously that's exacerbated by COVID, because you can't, I couldn't speak to you like we're speaking now. We couldn't do that, we had to be 2 feet apart. So that intimacy that comes in film, which is a collaborative process, was lost to some extent. And that I found that was the challenge. The biggest surprise was Karen. It was like we got so lucky. We got so lucky that she was available to do the film, that she got the character immediately, and that from day one she produced just outstanding performances. I don't think any other actor would have brought to that role. I think that's really important, in that we got very lucky in that respect. In our bad luck, produced something wonderful.
Now, you come from a journalism background. You also come from a documentary filmmaking background. I know that the journalism background, of course, probably helped you when you were making documentaries.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, do either of those skills, the journalism background, the documentary background, which of those skills did you bring that maybe helped you in making a narrative feature?
Probably a bit of both. So the one thing you learn from journalism is what we call phone bashing. That means pick up the phone to talk to people. Pick up the phone. You want some information. You need to find something. And we're dealing with the film's subject matter is quite a sensitive subject. Part of it covers, illegal trafficking of women into the UK as sexual slaves. So, one of the things I was able to do as a director, and I was able to do with the writer, was pick up the phone and speak to Greater Manchester Police and say, what's the situation, what's happening, how is it, how do we reflect this realistically, And I from my journalism background, I've contacts in the police that I could talk to quietly and reach out to. That was one thing that came in really useful. The other thing is that you might notice I'm not a terribly shy person, and that comes from being a journalist. I learned to talk to people through being a journalist, and that allowed me to talk to people. And when we were filming in Yorkshire, I made sure the community, while they aren't in the film because we're not allowed to have them in the film for COVID reasons, I made sure we integrated with the community as much as possible, talk to them. So that's where the journalism, in the documentary making, I think it's in a way, it's that social realism that comes into the film. That inspired my documentary background kind of inspired the way I approach the film as a director of a feature. Now, it's not all shake your hand at camera, because documentary isn't like that. It's not really like that at all. It's the way Hollywood portrays documentary, but God, no documentary cinematographer would be satisfied with shaking camera everywhere, you know what I mean? So what it allowed me to do was make it look real for the audience in a way that actually is properly, cinematic.
So you made the film, you premiered it last summer in Manchester. What's been the journey since then, the reaction of the audience? What's it like finally getting it out there? COVID's happily behind us. People get to come out. You get to show it in front of people. What's that experience been like?
Why we make films is, you've probably heard me say this before, why we make films is the collective experience of sitting in a room together and watching that screen. All of us experience it differently, but we've done it as a moment. And we lost that in COVID. We lost that collective experience. And film is one of the few, probably with theatre, are one of the only two mediums in the world, one of the only two art forms in the world where you get to do that. So it's been amazing going back into cinemas with this screening. After Manchester, we got a distribution for the UK and Ireland. So we screened in cinemas across the UK and Ireland, which was amazing. Not many independent films get to do that. And we've since picked up an international sales agent, so hopefully we'll get out into the market internationally. House of Film, our sales agent, has done a terrific job. They brought it out to the market for the first time at EFM in Berlin. So I think what I want now is to, is as many people to watch the film and recognise the kind of story we're telling, which is not an easy story. I appreciate it. It's a dark film. It's not for everyone. But it's a film that has a message to tell that, no matter how bad things are, there's always a little bit of light. There's always a silver lining in a dark cloud.
Well, the film is called Wait For Me. Look for it hopefully coming soon. This is Keith Farrell. Thanks for chatting with us today on Cherry the Geek TV, and stay tuned for more coverage here at the 19th Annual Omaha Film Festival.
Thank you very much.
You need to trust me. Trust the advice I'm giving you. Opportunities like this don't just land in your lap, believe me.
We're 4 months behind. How are you going to pay that? Wave a magic wand?
Turn around.
I've got to go somewhere. I've got to go make something right. I can't be taking you with me.
What's she done?
Are you in trouble?
Do you have any idea who these people are? The guys you've gotten yourself involved with?
She took all the money. She's gone. Find her!
I don't know where she is. I don't know.
Don't. I have some property that I want back.
Well, what the hell are you doing here, Ali? I've every right to be here. You can't just breeze in here like this. It's too much.
I'm her mom. She's my girl.
She has nothing left to her.
Hey, wake up! Why do they know we were here?
Were they? Were they?
What if something goes wrong, hey?
You better hope to God that she's there.
You've got to take the plunge. Seize the moment.
You want to try being afraid every day of your life? That does something to you.